Hey everybody, it's Neil with the Dastardly Gentlemen. And with me, I have Frank. Say hi, Frank.
Hey, you didn't seem real sure who you were for a minute.
You
Did
never
you
know.
black out? Did you black out?
Nah, you just never know, dude. Some days.
Who are you people and where's my horse?
Tonight we're going to be talking about parenting. We're going to teach you absolutely nothing because nobody's good at parenting, apparently.
No, everyone's terrible at it.
So,
Everyone thinks that they have what they can do, but everybody's bad at it.
yeah, and I don't have kids, so I really have no room to talk. But I'm going to tell you my opinion anyways, because I have seen a kid or two in my lifetime.
Because everyone has an opinion. They're like assholes. And just like opinions, they get stretched pretty thin sometimes.
And at one point, I was a kid, so I think I have a little bit of knowledge on it. You know?
For you.
So there's this thing going around. It's called free-range parenting. Now, it sounds ridiculous because
Sounds like chickens.
sounds like you're treating your children like cattle. But the definition of free-range parenting is to allow your children to be independent and kick them outside until they come home for dinner, kind of deal. Like, go out and, I don't know, socialize, light fires, you know, play basketball, get in fights, that sort of thing. That's free range parenting, or otherwise known as
Parenting.
parenting. I know that's really not that big of a thing anymore, because of many reasons, which we'll go through. But when I was a kid, that was just the way of life. That was what you did. You knew everybody in the neighborhood, or at least knew half of them, and everybody's kids played together. So I don't know.
Were you come home when the outside lights come on kind of kid?
No, it was come home for dinner. Be home by dinner, and if I'm not home by dinner, I'm eating dinner at somebody else's house.
And your mom better fucking know.
Yeah, basically. But I had a little bit more freedom than most of the kids because I don't know. I don't know why. But what do you think specifically caused, the more protective parents nowadays?
This is where I get to be. This is where I get to do my Trumpisms.
Go for it.
It's the media.
Okay. The media.
Yeah, I mean, mostly it is because it's like statistically we're safer. Children are safer now than they have ever been.
Sure.
But because there are still kidnappings, molestations, etc., they are just massively televised.
Sure.
So, I mean, like, one kid gets kidnapped in Maryland and it becomes national headline news. Yeah, fake news. It becomes national news. When this girl in Tennessee gets abducted by her teacher. I mean, I think the circumstances are fucking ultra levels of weird. But so she gets kidnapped by her teacher. I know she's 15. Fucking idiot. But so she gets kidnapped, and then, or not even really, but whatever. Then it becomes headline, like, national news. But it's not really a big. Then the immediate parental reaction is there's a kidnapper on every street corner.
Right.
And that's not true. So, like, I go to some of these places with my kids and, like, I let them run around and I'm like, go, be free, be babies.
Yep.
Just don't break anything and don't hurt another kid. Past that, I don't really care what you do. And then all the other parents are like, oh my gosh, I had Susie in daycare, but then whenever I took her from daycare, I took her directly to here, and I made sure that she was supervised during all of her play dates, and I never was more than 5 feet away from her just in case there's a kidnapper. And I'm like fucking where? Like somewhere, like, are they following you somewhere between your play date and your preschool. I mean, who the fuck do you hang out with? I mean, like, did you not look around and be like, I've seen that guy 15 times this month, and he keeps staring at my children.
He would be in jail by now.
Maybe I should call someone.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that I mean, like I said, statistically, kids are safer now than they ever have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because things are more televised, the parents, oh my god. Yeah, even like in the little communities where like it used to be, come home when the lights come down. You can still do that, and everybody knew everybody, and everybody still does know everybody. But for some reason, it's like people seem to think that like I know my neighbor. I've known my neighbor for 10 years, and my kids know that neighbor. For some reason, his doors, are he just gonna turn one day, like a bad monkey, and his doors are gonna open up, and he's gonna suck a child in with a bunch of candy, and then take him to his like creepy sex basement, and that'll be it. You never see him again.
Yeah, it's typically how it goes, dude.
And I'm like,
I've seen it in stories.
yeah. I mean, generally fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know that the highest probability of people being kidnapped are people that you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, and usually it's the other parent
Or a creepy uncle.
or uncle who hugs too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually his name is Stan.
Stan.
Stan
Or
with those hands.
Or as Chris Rock would say, Aunt Tom.
Yep.
So, okay, that was my initial thought as well about what caused, the, overprotective parents. The media, the internet, everybody talking to everybody and scaring each other. Especially the 24-hour news cycle where you got to have something going on. So let's report a missing child, on the other side of the country. Like, oh, those circumstances, they're exactly like mine. Well, dude, statistically...
because they're vague enough just to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah. Statistically, your child is, like you said before, safer now than ever. But the likeliness of your child getting kidnapped is so slim. You have a better chance of, dying in a plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But I did, do a little bit of research, and I've read an article on it. There's actually probably about 12 different reasons why this is a thing now. One of the bigger reasons is because most households have both parents working now.
Right. Okay.
So because of that, they're being carted from, wake up in the morning, go to daycare, then both parents go to work. They come home from work, pick the kids up from daycare, and then they have an hour or two with the kid, and then it's bedtime. Or if the kid's in school for about the same amount of time as you're at work, you help them with homework, eat dinner, go to bed. So the entire week is pretty much taken up. And that's if you don't have extracurricular activities like football or baseball or anything like that. You get to spend very little time with your kid because you're always at work and they're always doing something else. So I remember when I was a kid, extracurricular activities, you went to practice twice a week, maybe, tops. And then you had a game on the weekends. But all day long, mom was home, or dad was home, or grandma was home, and I could do anything. I could walk up and down the street, go 2 neighborhoods over. I mean, no big deal. As long as, I got taught correctly, which was don't talk to strangers. Don't accept candy, even though there was that one time where somebody did offer me candy, and it was a creepy old lady in a van. She's like, hey, kid, you want some candy? Just like that. And I'm like...
You're like, no.
Like, this is what I've trained for?
At last, all of my training has come to fruition.
And it was so weird, too, because I remember when I... It was like probably about 6 or 7 houses down from my house. And I go back to my house, and I'm like, hey, Mom, some lady I've never seen before just offered me candy. And my mom and my grandma freaked the fuck out, as they should. But I didn't realize it at the time. I'm like, well, I mean, I just followed Scruff McGruff's advice, or whoever it was. I just, You don't, you know, I don't know you. I don't want candy from you. It could be laced. That's what I was going in my head, but
Yeah.
not, hey, if you come closer, I can snatch you and put you in this van and take you away forever. No, that didn't go through my head. It's like, you probably don't have the candy I want anyways. I mean, you probably have, sweet tarts. I want fucking Reese's, you know?
If you're gonna kidnap me, at least give something I enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, like king size Snickers bars, not this fucking, not Skittles. God.
Who kidnapped somebody with Skittles?
You're the worst kidnapper ever. But now they freaked out and they called the cops and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, oh, I guess I did a good thing.
Watch, it was just some like old lady who was just like, I haven't seen my grandchildren in forever, and then she's like, oh, here's a little boy. I'm gonna give him some candy because it makes me think of my grandkids. And now there was like an APB out on her. And she's like, it was just fucking candy.
But it was so weird. I was just like riding my bike and all of a sudden I stopped and I looked down. And my shoe was untied. And all of a sudden there was a van right there. It's like, hey kid, you want some candy? I'm like, this is odd.
I have never had anyone try to give me candy whenever I was a kid. Never.
I mean, statistically, you shouldn't have. That was weird for me to get.
I mean, no candy, no attempted snatcheroonies, no, hey, will you help me find my puppy? None of that.
Yeah. Because statistically, you shouldn't have. I mean, I was the anomaly, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as you teach your kids how to deal with strange people, you should be okay. Now,
General.
they could have just jumped out of the van and grabbed me. I mean, but still, it's a learning experience, and to let your kids go out and be independent is kind of an important skill to have.
Do you think that there's like an age limit on free range children?
You mean like a minimum, or what do you
Yeah. I mean, like, what do you feel like is like the minimum for like somebody to be like, he's had a good life,
mean?
you know? Or if he dies, he dies.
Here, take this ring to Mordor.
Yeah. I mean, like, because in this apartment complex, we got a kid that his grandmother will just sit out on the porch and text on her phone
Mhm.
for fucking like 4.5 hours, and this kid runs all through the entire apartment complex, and everybody knows him, so therefore everybody watches out for him, which is good. But like, we gotta look. Okay, look, real talk. It's Louisiana, and there's a big fucking pond in the middle of this apartment complex that has a water system that goes right out to the bayou. So what lives in the bayou that could possibly crawl through this water system to go live in the apartment lake?
Cthulhu.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, look, don't get me started. Anyway, so there could be, alligators in the fucking water, and this kid's like out of the water, just bloop,
Stone
playing in the water. I
rocks.
mean, he's like five
Yeah.
or six, and on this kid's like up in this water's business. Let's just say, like, he doesn't even need to get snatched by an alligator. He like just trips bloop, and goes in the water, doesn't know how to swim, drown.
Yeah.
This woman have no idea. Everybody else in this apartment complex watches this kid more than grandma.
Ugh.
See, like, to me, I'm like, he's 5. My kids are 3 and 2
Mhm.
ish, and I'm like, I don't hover, but at the same time, I'm at least near,
Right.
near-ish, so that like I can know what's happening. Should anything occur with the kids, I'm always armed. But like I'm concerned because like in the grass in this area, there's like a ton of ants and shit, like constantly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really I worry about like my daughter stepping on an ant pile or whatever. Oh, look at is that a high five, or what is that?
That's a
It-
waving,
Is that a turkey?
a wave thing.
Looks like a turkey.
Okay, I could try as checked. I don't
I
know.
touch it.
I don't know if that's Jordan or Jer.
Doesn't matter. I'm assuming since it's high fiving and not saying something like racially offensive, it's probably Jordan.
That's probably true. Anyways, Um, well, yeah, that's one of, I can't stand that shit. When parents kind of pawn off their supervision of their children on other people. I had a particular friend that would, come over to parties, and this is typically an adult party
Go on.
where
Like
there's
a key party or
no, not like a swingers
not that
club,
adult?
dude. We're talking.
There are drinks,
There were
beverages.
drinks and lots of cursing and shenanigans going on, and he would just show up and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here too." And I'd look down, and there's his daughter. I'm like, "I told you, no, no kids." He's like, "Well, this is the only way I could show up." I'm like, "Then don't fucking show up." How
Yeah.
about that? I'm like, "Look, I get it. It sucks. You couldn't find a babysitter, but what are we supposed to do now? We gotta like censor ourselves. We can't drink. We can't do anything silly. You just fucking ruined the party." And but I mean, I didn't say that to him. I just kind of bit my tongue, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe this will work." And he comes
Mm.
in and he hands his child an Xbox controller that's not plugged into anything, and then wanders off. And basically, everybody else got to watch his kid for him while he was having a good time drinking and shenanigans. Um,
That kind of makes me mad.
I'm like, yeah, you're not invited anymore. Peace. No, that should drive me nuts. I mean, watch your damn kids. Seriously.
Most of my friends are like adults that have kids.
Hmm.
So it's funny because like, my kids will show up and everyone's like filth and foul, foul, filth and foul babies. And then like
Hmm.
it just they don't even care. Like all drinks get put down and they're like, "Oh, play with the kids." And baby, 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 baby. It's it's actually pretty funny.
And that's okay. I mean, when you have a party that you're gonna have a bunch of adults drinking and shenanigans, but there's a bunch of kids, they can all
Hmm.
play together, and you just kind of keep an eye on 'em.
Hmm.
That's okay. But if you're specifically saying, "Hey, we're all gonna get shit faced and do dumb shit and be bad examples to children,"
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have them here.
yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm
basically.
just saying.
So, this next generation of children, Frank, what do you think? What do you think their problems are going to be? I mean, what do you think our problems are as our generation? I mean, other than the fact that the baby boomers left us with so many nice things.
Like crippling debt and a very poor grasp on in economics.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just go get a job at a factory and then buy a house.
Yeah, sure. Um, we have a whole generation of people that can't fucking take criticism.
Absolutely.
We have a whole bunch of people that are give me in its minds,
Yeah.
and we have a whole bunch of people that have absolutely no ability to accept responsibility whatsoever.
Okay.
I mean, like, really, there's a rather enormous list of shit that I'm disgusted with in people of my generation. I think that would, I mean, like a goddamn terrible work ethic. It makes me frustrated to work in an industry whenever I'm part of like the young group, and then I show up and they're like, "Oh, we got a young guy here," as if to say, like, well, I mean, we're gonna have to work extra hard because there's a young guy. I'm like, no, 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 don't say that. Don't act like that. It's not right. It's
Right.
not me. And then like other young people come on there and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't really want to work," and I'm like, fuck, okay, no, fair enough. I get why you guys are worried about me being here. But totes my scrotes, I will fucking be here, so don't worry about it.
I haven't run into a whole lot of that. I mean, I'd say it's 50-50. Half the people I know in my generation uh, basically just skate by, and the other half, bust their ass. I mean, there really is no in between. Um, except for me, I'm probably in between. I mean, if I can get away with doing nothing, I will do nothing. But when the shit is on the line and, you got to get it done, I'm on it.
You will absolutely collapse like unleavened bread.
Nah, man, I work better when there's a deadline and it's close.
I literally hate people like you. Then I work a little. I work on something. I've worked really hard in the beginning of a project, and then a little bit on it every day, so that whenever it is crunch time, and they're like, oh my god, I got this done. Like 90% of it's already completed, and then I'm just like, and put a bow on it, and project. Fucking Dickie Scott. I should have gotten mine out. Wasted opportunity.
Yeah, dude. I'm in space. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. But then you got people that are just nothing but excuses. I mean, no matter what,
No matter what, like a welfare generation.
basically. So
No, I
yeah,
mean like that. Well, that's another in the long list of problems. Welfare generation.
yeah. I mean,
Too old to be re-educated. Too young to do anything except for like to breed a lot.
dude,
For
just
Star Wars.
have 7 kids, collect welfare, get a ridiculously insane fucking income tax return.
I remember I took a delivery to this lady's house once, and I knocked on the door, and one of the kids opened it, and she was literally just laying on the couch, just on her phone. Her
Mm.
kids were running around bare ass naked, every one of them, and I'm like, these kids are like 10, and there was literal feces on the walls, and I'm like,
I
these
gotta go.
kids have no chance. I'm like, I just kind of. And then the one kid was trying to like he's like he's got to be 10, and he's trying to like, how much is it? I'm like, it's 15 whatever, and he's like got a 20. He's like, I don't know how much I need back, and I'm like, you need 14 and change here. I'm like, you guys way need it more than I do. And I was like, I told him, I said, this kid, this is bad. I was like, grow up and be better than this. And the fucking mom got super pissed off at me. I'm like, no. And then I almost got fired for it. But I'm like, I mean, how can you see that and not say anything? You
You,
know? Like, it's just okay. Like, I mean, like, these kids were literally running around with poop on them.
ugh,
And I'm like, dude, like, I mean, they might as well be out in the ditch just eating, like, live animals.
pretty much. And that's the
They're
thing,
this close to being Gollum.
and one of the big things too. I mean, like you can't tell anybody how to fucking raise their kids. They will come unhinged.
I have, like, limits
Yeah.
where, like, I won't tell somebody how to, like, raise their kids, and I won't give them shit for spanking them in public. But, like, if your definition of I'm going to, chastise my child is like I'm going to grab them by the hair and then slap them until they're on the ground, we will not see eye to eye. But if it's like, because I've gotten dirty looks where like my son would just went up and just fucking just bit another kid when he was like 2.
Yeah.
I mean, they go through a stage where they bite shit. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was only his response. I bit him, and I whipped the shit out of him. I mean, like I'm like, what do you say? And I fucking made him sit there. And once he finally stopped weeping openly, I was like, apologize. I'm sorry for what? I'm sorry, I bit you. Okay. Other kid stopped crying. Kid didn't know what to say. He had no idea. Didn't say thank you. Didn't say no. The parent fucking was like, why did you hit him? Because he bit the shit out of your kid. I'm like, that's what you're worried about? I'd have been furious that your kid fucking bit my kid if the roles were reversed. But I mean,
Yeah, kids will be kids, but I mean, if you adequately discipline your child and not just let them go biting everybody, everything should be cool.
yeah, I mean, like, guess who doesn't just randomly bite people anymore?
I only took one lesson.
There are sometimes, I don't like, it's funny too, because everyone's like, oh, people that whip their kids are just making them to be the worst kind of kids, and they're being the worst. And, and I'm like, no, not really. So you're teaching them that violence is the answer. And I'm like, whenever someone is 3, you don't sit there and be like, Tiberius, do you know what you did wrong? No, they're gonna be like, bread. eggs, and like, no, they have no idea. So it's like, because you can't, because once you sit there and you start talking to them, or that young, and you try to talk them through it, they've already forgotten what they did.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, unless like you like bite, whip, they know. Oh God, don't do that again.
Yeah.
That is the pain bringer. But like, if I see these parents from California that they're like, they're like, oh well, we tried to talk to Timmy about it, and I'm like, how good did that work?
Yeah.
Tried to counsel a fucking 3-year-old on what to and what not to do. I mean, like, I bet he literally turned around and did it again
Yeah.
immediately.
I mean, that's the way I see it. I mean, I get both sides of the argument, oh, to hit your kids or not to hit your kids kind of deal. But it makes more sense to me when they're that age to to give them a little bit of a negative reinforcement when it comes to shit that they're not going to learn otherwise. I mean, if you try and reason with them, if you try and like give them an explanation, you're absolutely right. They're very limited on their vocabulary, and they have the attention span of a squirrel.
Right. I mean, they're fucking 2 or 3 or whatever. I mean, they don't really start to like get that cognitive reasoning until 4 or 5, where you can be like, you can't do this because, and then explain it to them. I mean, like, they're still like, follow me. They just don't know. I mean, like, like I try to explain. Even now, for the most part, I can explain stuff to my son. He gets it. But I mean, like, there are some things where I'm like, don't do it, and then he'll do it immediately after, and I'm like, you are not picking up what I'm putting down, so let's help you out.
Plus, I mean, at that age, kids are gonna test their boundaries, see what they can get away with.
Right.
I mean,
Which is precious little around Daddy.
and you gotta set those boundaries. I mean, if you don't put a little bit of fear of the parental authority in gear on them early, they're gonna walk all over you.
Hmm.
We're not doing that, Gage.
What are you, like, fucking 10? So like my dad, like, I love my dad to pieces, but I was just telling him the other day, because he's like, oh, the kids are wearing me out, and I'm like, why? I don't understand, because I come home and they're perfectly fine. I tell them to sit down, get ready for dinner. They sit down, they get ready for dinner. They get done with dinner, they go and they wash their hands, they brush their teeth, they go down, they watch their show, they read their books. It's fine. But then, like, during the day, I guess, like, they're just running him ragged, and I'm like, I don't understand how. And then so, like, one day, like, I just kind of sat there and I just watched him mess with them, and they were just running all over the place, and grandpa does this, grandpa does that, and they just did whatever the hell they want to, and he didn't try to, like, set boundaries or limits. And so then I just literally, they were going haywire, throwing stuff. I stood up, they both got immediately quiet and started picking up toys. And, like, put them away, and I was just like, you guys hungry? And they're like, and they ran over, they sat down and started getting ready to have lunch. And I got them something to eat. I'm like, what do you want? I want juice and bread. I want water and bread. Bread, I can do that. Shockingly, I can do bread. And and I'm like, I'm like, Dad, you cannot just let them run roughshod over you. I mean, like, I'm not even, like, I know you're saying, like, every time that, like, they get out of line, I whip the crap out of them. Very rarely do I ever whip my kids, but I do. No, yes, no, don't do that. Get down, and they respect that level of authority that apparently I'm the only one that does. My poor dad. He's always like, all right, let's go do that. All right. Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, whenever you're watching them, and like you're getting upset that you have to watch them, and then they're wearing you out, you should probably set some limitations.
Lay down the law.
I mean, like, because he does give them a hard time and disciplines them whenever, like, if they hit each other, or if they get too rowdy, or if they start breaking stuff. But that's literally it. Everything other than that, it's like screaming and hollering and throwing toys and whatever. And I'm like, I mean, like, I know that that's a thing, that's a mindset, but when, like I said, whenever they're making you literally so tired that you feel like you're gonna die, you should probably tell them to stop. He's
Yeah,
gotten a
dude.
lot better about it, but I mean, for me, I'm just like, you, before I go to work, I'm like, you kids, be nice to grandpa while I'm gone, because when I get back, he's gonna tell me. And my son's like, okay.
Dude, Grandpa's basically the substitute teacher. I mean, you're
Oh,
really
yeah.
you're not there to push the lesson along, or bust open the lesson plan and start reading from the book and stuff. You're there to make sure the shit does not collapse, building isn't on fire, and you're gonna get paid your
Your day rate.
paltry fucking substitute fee,
The
and then you leave.
Yeah, grandparents are specifically there to watch the kids to make sure they don't swallow, like, caustic detergent or chew through wires or run out into traffic or pull the TV on top of themselves. I mean, like, it's just, when I get home, if the kids are not dead, high five to grandpa. If I come
There you
home and
go.
I have two and not one, high five to grandpa.
Sure.
Or I know where both of them are. Nah, he's killing it. But I mean, like, like, I am not the one that's complaining that the kids are too tiring.
Well, that's
You
the
know?
thing. I mean, if you want your job to be slightly easier, then you gotta make it easier by, putting in the work.
Right.
But I mean, it is what it is. And as far as uncles, aunts, grandparents, if they're every once in a while visiting, is it really worth it? But if they're doing it all the time, yeah, you gotta lay down the
Yeah.
goddamn law.
That's why,
But
like, I try to, like, do like law laying vicariously, where I'm like, if grandpa says this, you guys do it. And I'm like, right, grandpa? And he's like, oh, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, if you want this to not suck for you, you will agree with me and you will do that. I'm just saying. I mean, like, it's, like I said, if grandpa's visiting, you shake the kids up, get them all fucking riled up, and then be like, okay, go see mommy and daddy. That's the cool part about being a grandparent. But I mean, he wants to be like the semi substitute live-in, like, nanny, and I'm like, that we should probably work on you making the kids a little more mindful.
right. Yeah, dude. All right, let's take this opportunity to get a word from our sponsor. Where's that? Here it is. This is just me talking a little bit. Hang on.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
Shh. Go. Oh, it helps if that thing is fucking. The Dastardly Gentlemen are a proud affiliate of Blueberry.com. Blueberry, that's Blueberry without the E's. Your one-stop shop for podcasting. Go on over there and take a look and see what they have to offer. And put in promo code Dastardly for 1 month of free hosting. Alright, excellent.
Excellent party time.
Okay, so we kind of got off topic, but we were talking about the troubles that, your kids and that generation are going to face when they grow up. What do you think they're going to run into?
Like my kids?
Yeah, that generation.
Um, Ignorance.
Ignorance.
An overpowered economic elite. A widening gap between low and middle class.
So you're talking politics.
No, I'm not talking politics. I'm talking, I guess, reality.
Mhm.
I mean, like, politics is usually like a matter of perspective, but in this case, it's specifically like, if my kids grow up and they go to college and they get an education, and then they try to go out into the world, as it stands right now, where things are going, they're probably not going to get a whole lot out of it.
Okay.
And that's disappointing. I feel like that's a problem that they're going to end up facing. I hope that 2016 and 2017 are seeing the reining in of the social justice issues that are just fucking insane.
Yeah.
That'd be swell. So that, like, yeah, thanks a lot, 1%. Right? Good job, Obeezy. But it would be nice to, like, if my kids could be who they want to be without having to defend themselves against people who feel like they need to defend people who are inappropriately labeled. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I think I know what you're talking about, but why don't you explain it a little bit more?
Like, my kids can be whatever they want, you
Yeah.
know, LBGT, whatever else is added to that. I don't know. The acronym keeps growing.
Yeah.
They can be, you know, they can be cis, whatever the fuck that is. They can be, they can be, I don't know, whatever, and not have some. I'm not gonna do that because I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Sorry, Gage.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Then they can check out. They can check out. God damn it! They can just be whatever they want to be, and not have somebody wanting to throw rocks at them because they were slightly different, or they think differently. That they can openly express themselves, which is something that I think now is in this particular country, this particular junction of American politics, is something that's no longer, we're no longer able to do, we're no longer valuing, where somebody has a different opinion, and then you can say what you want to, you can have discussion. They're not doing that anymore. So I worry that my kids aren't going to be able to be part of a conversation. They're just going to be part of like a grander, long running scheme where they're going to fall in line. And I don't want that because I don't want to raise my kids to be drones.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I think that'd be one fear to have. Another fear I would have. I mean, I don't have kids, and it's still on the table whether I want them or not. Especially in the world we're living in going forward. Um, I'm very concerned for the future. I'm very concerned for how education is being treated in this country, and how ignorance is being praised. Um, just blindly believing people that call themselves an authority, and people in general saying, "Oh man, we don't want to have to deal with these scientists." I mean, you know, I'm tired of scientists always running the show, dude.
There's a reason for that,
There's a reason for that. Um, that's I mean, like I said, ignorance is being praised. You know, skating by is being praised, and I'm not sure as of right now. It's kind of 50-50 in my head whether it's pandering or whether it's a tactic to keep people stupid and in line.
Little column A, little column B.
Probably. I mean, if you're pandering to people that are like, yeah, I mean, most people in this country are not on the higher education spectrum. That's the way it is. I mean, that's why it's called higher education. I mean, you have to go way
You
out
have
of
to go
your
out of
way.
your way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to make it happen. And most people aren't going to do that. Understandably so. I mean, a lot of people get into situations where they need money now, and they can't, spend shit tons of money on college to get that shit. And that's understandable. I'm not hating. But because we have such a large portion of people that are less educated, we have an issue where politicians will pander to those people and make them feel good about themselves. And to make them feel good about themselves, they'll shun the smart, basically. Shun the intelligent. Because nobody likes to be made to feel like they're an idiot. They don't. You call somebody stupid, or even in a roundabout way, calling them uneducated in itself is calling them stupid, and they get really pissed. So, how do you fight that? How do you combat that? You really can't, and the only way you can do it is to, from the top down, glorify education. And they're not going to do that because smart people make informed decisions, And when they make those decisions, they take the facts into account. So you can't easily manipulate smart people. It takes a little bit more effort.
It's a little harder.
Yeah. So
You
I
have to
mean,
try harder to manipulate smart people.
Yeah. And that's what like terrifies me going into the future is that they're going to push that agenda of keeping people dumb, including, future generations. And whatever the motive is for it, it's not good enough. It's probably money, but it's not good enough. I mean, that that is basically, in my opinion, burning the candle at both ends. Eventually, it's going to come to a stop, and we're all screwed. I really hope somebody comes along and fixes it, because I sure as hell don't have the capacity to do it.
I could do it.
I'm an armchair critic, so
I could do it.
okay, go.
It would be extremely messy.
Oh no! Can you do it without murder?
I might have ideas. All I need to know about the political system I learned from Gul'dan. Just walk into the stock exchange, ring the bell, everybody turns around. You will lose everything.
Yeah, dude. So I mean that's my fear. Yeah.
I am afraid because my daughter really likes to go into the water that she is going to ask me to scuba dive.
And you're
And
terrified.
because I love her, I will. But we will find out if sharks are warded off by feces in the ocean. Because I'm a load up. I'm gonna load up both hand legs of that swimsuit. I swear, I'm gonna look like I got like fucking two big old ham hogs. Hurt me!
Gross.
It's a genuine fear. I
I
mean,
mean,
I'm actually scared if she's gonna want me to go into the ocean. I just don't want to. I'm gonna die in the ocean. I'm gonna die in the ocean. That's the worst.
you'll be all right
The funny part
statistically.
is if it actually happens, so we can go back to these videos, this one in particular, and people go, "Oh shit, he was right. He died. He died in the ocean."
No, not so much.
Mm-mm. 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 No, dude. Fixing the education, the one percenters, that'd be easy. But I mean, you can't do it without killing people. I mean, come on. You
Yeah.
ask too much, Neil. It's not fair.
What,
I have a
putting
solution for everything, but in order to meet that, someone's gotta die.
someone,
In
someone,
some way.
some people,
Yeah. I mean,
lots of
like, even
people.
if it's just like a token sacrifice, it's the only way that I'll get motivated.
Well, I'm glad that falls under the parenting umbrella.
It does.
It's murdering.
Well, duh.
Obviously.
In order to make a country, you gotta kill a few eggs.
A few.
What? Like maybe. Look, I could probably do it. I could probably do it for less than 1.2.
Mill.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, that's 1/300th of the population. Well, 1/299th after I get done.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean,
It's not. It's not. Look, that's like a suburb of New York disappearing. Nobody'd notice.
I think people would notice, Frank. JK NSA. Frank doesn't really want to murder people.
No, no, no. It's fine. Look, it's fine. Because I put economics on there. They're like, oh,
Oh, well, that makes sense then. Carry
next
on.
thing I know, I got my credentials in the mail, right? And they're like, we want you to come to the Pentagon.
Okay,
It's my time.
stop.
If I was president, that would be my entry song. Every time like the doors open and I go to the podium.
No.
Absolutely. Shut the fuck up. What do you know?
No, I'm in agreement with Ryan here.
Yeah,
No.
stop it. You guys are assholes. I could do it. You
Not
guys
so
just
much.
don't believe.
You got
You need to
anything?
clap more.
You got anything else over there in
No,
regards to
I'm all about
parenting?
that free range parenting.
What's that?
I'm all about that free range parenting. I am no, really, I am. I mean, like whenever my kids get old enough, because like I do feel like that there is like an age limit, like 7, 8. Be like, feel free to, and like because it's beholden to you as a parent. Because I hate people.
Hmm.
You can kind of tell, but like I hate people like just sort of as a general rule, and I have a really hard time like associating with people. And so like even in this apartment complex, one of the biggest problems I have with this apartment complex is that I don't feel like I need to learn to like anyone here because I'm not going to be here permanently. So like whenever people come up, they're like, "Hi, I don't know, remember literally anyone's name."
Yeah.
I've been here for almost 2 years, and I literally don't even know any one of my neighbors. And but they're like, they introduce themselves. I'm like, mm, there you are. Okay.
No, you remember the characteristics. You remember their name because you don't care that much. You call him the red shirt guy, or
There's
refer to him.
dude who lives above, chick who lives next door, old lady who lives down there, guy with 2 dogs that lives a couple of blocks over.
You generally refer to them by their race.
Yeah, I'm like, man with beard. Okay, he's walking his dog. Okay, man with beard has dog. Man with dog beard, and
Darby.
that's it. Yeah, that's all I remember now, and I just don't care. But like whenever I actually live like in a community permanently, I will know everybody on the street in the immediate
Sure.
area.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I will go door to door. Hey, I moved down the street. Yeah. And the guy's like, hey, you, neighbor guy, are you more man meat or bug meat? I do not like man meat.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Smoke you. But but I will go door to door and I will find out. Because then, I mean, because that's also a good way to like, open the door and the guy's like, you got any kids? No, but you got an eviction notice. I own this house. Nah. You can leave it or be burned in it. It's up to you. You got a basement? You may want to consider my question very deeply.
I mean,
Think I'm registered? No, just because I mean, like, you really need to like get to know everybody like in your immediate hizzle. At the very, especially if you have kids. If you're by yourself, then fuck them. It doesn't matter.
well, I mean that's he does kind of make a good point. Jer said they'll probably think you're registered dot 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 somewhere, but he kind of makes a point. I mean, people are generally afraid of people nowadays. They're like, oh, I don't. I mean, you don't know most of your neighbors like we used to back in the day. Most people are introverted. They don't introduce themselves. They don't remember names. I mean, shit, I don't know anybody's names around here, and I've lived here for 4 years.
I guess I'm not really introverted. I just sort of like have like a general dislike. So I mean, like, I just don't have the patience to deal with people. But like I said, if it comes to like in this particular subject group, um, like if I'm living in an area permanently and my kids will be there permanently, then I will need to know literally everyone because it comes with two parts. One, you want to know the parents. If there's parents down the street and your kids are playing with their kids, I can't find Tiberius. Where's he at? Probably over with the Joneses or what the fuck ever. Some casually random American name. So then go over
Caucasian.
there, knock knock. Yeah, okay, there he is. But at the same time, you have it in your head. You meet everyone in your neighborhood, and then you've got like creepy McTouch hands is over like 3 doors down, and you're like,
I'm watching you.
so then like your kids are out playing, and like he's out there in a bathrobe watering his lawn for the last 2 hours, staring at your kids. I got your number, you motherfucker. I mean, like, so, like, that if your kids go missing, you go to the Joneses, he's not there, and then you jackboot through creepy McTouch Hands' house. You don't even knock, you just kick the door in, just assume, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean
It narrows
that's
down, like, your immediate vicinity of people that you gotta go, like, fucking knife through.
so that kind of raises another question. Do you believe in using tracking devices for
I
your
will
kid?
probably, because I've actually thought about that, where I wanted to get the little chips
Hmm.
and put them into the shoes of my kids.
Yeah.
So that like I'd at least have like an idea because I know that you're probably asking like about like the tracking devices like in the shoulder.
No, I'm not talking about like injecting.
Because parents have been bringing that up, like injecting a tracking device in kids. I'm like, no,
Nah, that's not happening.
no, never in life.
Not cool with that.
There is literally nothing that I will ever do that I will treat my children like animals for, and that's something that you do with a cat or a dog
Right.
or whatever. And that I find that so incredibly abhorrent that it's unbelievable. But like a tracking device in the shoe, I can get behind that because then you have like a general idea. But like that's only until like they get cell phones, because then you have the family tracker.
Yeah, sure.
So then like exactly where they are. But I mean, let's just say like Creepy McTouch Hands does like sweep your child away, and like they pitch, first thing they do is pitch the phone because can be tracked.
Yeah.
Not shoe part though.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you still have a pretty good idea, and then he thinks that he's all okay, and starts trying to like get down to his frisky business, and then you're literally coming in the fucking window like Judge Dredd.
I am the law.
I am the machete. I am the parenting law. Fucking like hack him to literal garbage. You turn into Rorschach from The Watchmen. Yeah. Axe to the skull. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Gabriel Haley literally made that movie for me. He's so good. He's so good. He's an artist. Scary voice.
No, that was so good. I think we're good, man. I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for watching and listening. We appreciate you. If you like what you heard, like what you saw, please rate, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. Follow us on Twitter. We got all the social medias. Let us know what's going on. Just talk to us. We're lonely. Not really, but no. Yeah, let us know what's going on. We like the feedback, and maybe eventually when we actually get some feedback, we might host a giveaway. We've got stuff we're trying to give away over here. And
if we get 200 followers, Neil will send nudes.
They might not be nudes of me, but they'll be nudes indeed. So yeah, I think this was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We will in just a second. We'll see you next time. We're gonna probably stream something later on tonight too, so if you guys are gonna stick around, we'll see you soon. But until next time, see you later.
Peace out. Dun, 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 dun.